welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever. There's all kinds of family. We chose this one. This is episode 354, Life in the Fast Lane. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe, too.
And we are shutting the door, closing the door, ending Too Fast, Too Furious with 7 minutes.
You're not going to play the whole thing, right?
I'm playing none of it because it's just two songs. We're going to get a copyright flag. So there's no audio here.
Okay.
Minutes 102 to 108 in Too Fast, Too Furious. So these are the credits. This is most of the credits. We had 30 seconds of credits last week. The cars, the CGI cars, continue to jockey for position, splashing through puddles, driving down alleys and on highways. Suki's car enters the race, as do Orange Julius's and Brian's. Brian flips Orange Julius's car and catches up to the pack. The final four remaining cars ride off into the sunset together. All of that lasts about 2 full minutes, plus the 30 seconds from the previous minute.
Yep.
Or, as our boys at crazycreditsimdb.com say, quote, the main ending credits, parenthetical, cast and main crew, are accompanied by a CGI movie featuring the main cars in the film racing through a city at night. Crazy credits. I couldn't have said it better myself.
So I have to say it now, off the rip. The title of this minute has to be Crazy Credits.
Okay.
As soon as we started, like before we started recording, I was like, I instantly know the title of this. It didn't come to me until I sat down, and I was like, I know what the title of this is. Crazy. And you should like alternate capitals.
Joe.
What?
Life in the Fast Lane number 14 was called Crazy Credits.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, fuck. Okay.
I thought we might have. I had to check. 14.
How about credits in parentheses, crazy?
Okay.
Or credits in parentheses, 4 thumbs up, no thumbs down. Something like that, right? Does that work?
Well, let's see here. Hold on.
Okay.
We'll
keep talking. That's a tentative.
Crazy credits. What is the crazy credits? This is 19 up, 0 down. I think maybe we should do that. 19 up, 0 down.
Okay.
And then we transition to the traditional credit screens, white text scrolling on a black screen. I have some stuff before I go into that. Pump It Up by Joe Budden continues and ends. Then All of Act a Fool by Ludacris plays, and the credits end by the time that's over. Joe, what did you notice? Should I go through my notes? You want to go through your notes?
I think you should go through yours first, and I can cut in mine whenever you want a breather or what. But I found some cool things, cooler than I expected, and cool things that I want to talk about.
So there was a very weird feeling I had when you looked at the computer sky in here, because there's some sky, like when it's like sunset, there's a little bit of like texture, but often it's just like there's like no detail, like it just like the sky is color, and I'm like, ooh, that's weird looking.
Well, it's just like shitty CGI.
It's cheap. I know.
It's cheaper CGI. But to that point, though, about the cars, they actually do a pretty good job of like the livery of the cars and like Suki's stickers on her car. And I have another thing to talk about there that I'll get to. But yes.
So I made a note for when this happens a lot when actors are known as one thing and credited as another. So he is credited in this movie as Chris, quote unquote, Ludacris Bridges. And I looked on IMDb, and he is that way for every single Fast and Furious movie, nearly all of his live action acting.
Okay.
I was curious what like the split was, because like I wonder.
Do they say Dwayne Johnson or Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
I think it changed, and I'm not sure. We'll have to wait for that minute. For that minute.
Okay, I'll remember this in 45 years. Yeah.
Because I also wonder, like, if you get on set and just like, hey, I'm Chris, nice to meet you. It's just like, I know you're Chris. You're Chris Bridges. Typically in animated stuff, he's just Ludacris. He's not Chris Ludacris Bridges. He's just Ludacris. I think it's because like his voice is more known as Ludacris, but when you see the person, he's Chris. I don't know.
I want to separate myself from my voice. I want to be known as two things.
It could be. I mean,
I guess I am technically already.
You are.
Here. I guess it's already true.
But my other thing that I found that was very weird, aside from the thing that I'm going to save for when you go through yours, is this is all contract negotiation. Like, it's sometimes either like
we've talked about this. Yes,
stars of movies have to be credited like twice.
Lineups in music festivals, like these, like the lineup on the movie posters. Yes.
So there was a thing where the main actors, the ones who are negotiated, as well as director and writer, have to be either at the start of a movie or before the credits. So you'll see, like in this movie, the this car scene that's going through. We're seeing all the main actors in the movie, the director, writer, whatever, and then we see all those names again in the traditional credits, which has the entire cast. Again, this might be a negotiation thing, but there's a very strange order and groupings of actors after we get through the main, Paul Walker, Tyrese, Ludacris, whatever.
All the single.
Those largely make sense.
Yes.
But then we get to Tom Barry, who plays Bilkins, and Michael Ealy on one, who plays Slapjack. So it's not like
Together.
Slapjack and Orange Julius, or it's not Tom Barry and Agent Dunn, or Markham, or whoever. Or not Markham, but, anybody in this movie. Well, no, Markham. It's Bilkins and Slapjack. Then the next one is Mark Boone Jr., who plays Detective Whitworth, a.k.a. the Rat Cop, and Devin Aoki, Suki.
Okay.
Then we get a 3, which is Roberto Sanchez, who plays Roberto. What a name. That's really like the Hector of this movie.
Yeah, it is.
Matt Mo Galimi, who plays Enrique, and Edward Finlay, who plays Dunn. So Roberto and Enrique together makes sense. And then having Dunn on there is just like, okay.
I guess they're the same tier, though. That's like the same levels. That makes sense.
And then the weirdest one is that we have Jin Young, who plays Jimmy, Amori Alaska, who plays Orange Julius, and Eric Edibari, who plays Darden. I'm like, who is Darden? And Darden's just another racer who auditions for Carter, and he's like the one who says, "You gonna make us audition?"
I don't remember. Okay.
So it's weird that Jimmy is there with a racer with a random guy, when Slapjack, who in my mind is equal to Orange Julius.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
Is 3 title cards earlier.
Yeah, and we put Suki with
Rat Cop.
Interesting.
It really just must be negotiation power, but like, I don't know, because I think normally, or what I've seen is that they'll like group together, like, here's the racers in the beginning. So it'd be like Orange Julius and Slapjack and Suki, and then here's like the cops, and here's like the whatever. Here, just like, none of these groupings make sense. And I didn't skip ones that make sense. These are 4 in a row that don't make any sense.
That makes, yes.
Very strange.
It's very, very weird. I agree. Good observation. It's weird.
So what do you have in terms of things you have found, fun little credits, trivia, tidbits of this movie?
The first thing that I thought that was really, really cool for 1 millisecond in this minute, in the CGI car things, we get a shot of the license plate, and the license plate actually does match the license plate of the Skyline in the movie. And we often talk about how they like miss simple continuity things in these films, but the person that was doing the design of the credits CGI matched the license plates, and I was like, that's very weird and interesting. It also is then reused on a different car's license plate, like Slapjack's car's license plate too, so they just use the same license plate for every one of them.
Sure.
But either way, respect for them getting the license plate right when they could have mailed that one home, because nobody would have ever noticed that besides me. I promise that I'm the first person to ever notice that the license plates in the CGI match Brian's license plate in the movie, right?
And you're only noticing it because we're watching this minute by minute. You're not actually being like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah. So I was happy with that one. I saw the name Heather Lieberman.
Okay.
As a co-producer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, we know all about Craig Lieberman. Is this how he got involved? Like, was his wife or his sister somebody, one of the people, and he's just like never really mentioned it and like taken, all of the glory for himself that he likes to do in all of his videos? Turns out, no. Not that I'm aware of. Heather Lieberman is no relation to Craig Lieberman. But guess what? Heather Lieberman has also co-produced. I'm assuming that look on your face was you had clicked that link.
It's like Heather Lieberman was like, what are all of Joe's favorite high school movies from when he was a high schooler? Let me just make all of these movies. So
let me just give you the highlights.
Also sequels to movies I did not know had sequels.
Yes. Cruel Intentions. She only has 8, so I'm just going to read through all of them. Cruel
the movie
Intentions,
that John has still not covered on that podcast.
What, Cruel Intentions?
Yeah.
And that's 99 too? What a failure. Epic failure, sir. Cabin by the Lake.
That's why I quit, by the way. I'm just like, you don't want to do Cruel... I'm out of here.
Fucking quit. Cruel Intentions 2, Class Warfare, I don't know what that is.
TV movie.
The Glass House, a movie that I've said is a great movie that I really, really enjoy. The Skulls 2, which I've also seen. Not the Skulls 1, just the Skulls 2.
Wait, you know who the star of The Glass House is? Have you guys covered this on Coastal Grand Bros?
We might have lost that one.
It's a Diane. I know that he lost everything on the hard drive, but that's a Diane Lane joint.
Yes, exactly, right? Okay, so Diane Lane, my favorite old whore, Glass House, The Skulls 2, not the first one, Too Fast, and then Cruel Intentions 3. So I was very happy just to discover Heather Lieberman. She's married to someone who like is a big producer who does like a lot of other things.
Oh yeah, her husband like won an Oscar.
Her taste and my taste completely overlap. So congrats to you, Heather Lieberman. Happy to find you and give you your props here. Next,
that's wild.
Yeah. So I was like just reading through the names, looking for anything interesting in the credits. Next interesting thing I found was Swerving Cop is Neil Moritz.
Okay,
right?
That makes sense. Sure. Producer in there. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Producer in there, but we didn't know that, right? We know about the producer in the first one, but not...
Well, the director, too, right?
That's
Rob
what
Cohen
I mean.
Is...
Rob Cohen's
Streets
in
Close,
it.
Streets a Boy.
Yep, exactly.
Well, also, no, Neil Moritz is also Ferrari.
Is it the same guy? Is that
Yeah,
Neil Moritz, too?
yeah.
I didn't remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Neil Moritz gets a little driving cameo again here. Something pertinent to us in our tentative, but I think nailed down minute title here. There's a guy named Troy Schultz in the credits, and he is titled Best Boy Rigging Grip, which, as we know, as our reference for all of Crazy Credits, it's always Hitler was best boy.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Best Boy Rigging Grip. So I was like, oh, that's fun. One of my favorite things was, I don't remember where this is in the movie, and I think I know where it is, but the picture didn't remind me of what happened. But there is a thank you to, like, this painting, Banderillas by Fernando Botero. That's, like, a bullfighting painting that was on loan that they thank, like, some museum for. I forget the name of the museum that it was. I think this is the painting that's like in Carter's house. Remember, he has just like that one painting on like an easel essentially. It's very weird.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think it's that they just staged it there, but they thank them like at the very end of the movie for loaning them that painting.
Okay.
It doesn't I don't remember seeing this painting. I linked to it. But they thank them only for this painting, so I'm assuming that's the painting it is. I just don't remember off the top of my head what the painting is. So those were all of my favorite crazy credit parts.
I like that we also, this week, I deleted all the old minute. We're like, we're never going to need these. But if you had the minute, you could have been like minute 24 or whatever and just gone there. But like, you're not going to scrub through a movie. Come on.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to scrub through to
2
match
days
this
ago,
painting.
I was like, do we ever need the minute by minute? You're like, no, we can get rid of it. So, you know what? Could have used it.
Could have used it, but at the same time, we're gonna watch this movie again sometime, and I won't remember. But if it's a painting of a bullfighter, then it's the painting.
When you take notes from the movies, do you keep all like the Too Fast notes, like for Too Fast, Too Furious, in the same document, or do you make a new document every time?
For like the first 8 or 9 laps, it was all one document, and then that document got really annoying to load on Google Docs on my phone. So now I have been making one document per lap that is all the movies.
Okay, cool.
So that's my new strategy.
So I was gonna say, if you had like a Too Fast doc, you could just like put this in the next movie's notes and just see if you remember. But like, that doc does not exist yet. So
it doesn't. This document is called To Walt to Kim. So I keep every movie that we're doing and movies for other shows that that happened in this lap. Like if Coastal Grand Bros or something, like those notes will all be in here.
But like even like never-ending story notes are in that same document.
Yes, yeah. It's just like this is my working thing until we start a new lap.
Cool. The only fun credit that I saw was score vocals by Pitbull, which I thought score was like denoted instrumental. I did not know that score also had lyrics. I also don't remember score with Pitbull in there.
He fits this movie so well for him not being in this movie. Mm-hmm. It makes perfect sense that he would be involved somehow. I did notice that the score wasn't by BT, or music not by BT this time.
His song Oye is in minute 25. Like, he's in the movie. He has a song in the movie.
Okay, that makes sense. If you told me, like, is Pitbull yes or no in there, I would say probably what?
There is, I should have just gone through the doc because it's all here. We had all clues, Mr. Police. In minute 85, the song off the score Breakout / Scramble and Bluff begins, and that is David Arnold featuring Pitbull. So that's where it is. But I've never seen that as a credit before. Like, score vocals. It just seems counterintuitive. It seems like an oxymoron.
Yeah. It's definitely a little weird. But yes, Pitbull does fit in this movie, so understood.
Anything else to say about this minute? These minutes? of Too Fast, Too Furious.
I am so proud of myself for this list of fun things that I came up with to talk about the fucking credits, because I was dreading this one today. Glad we got something out of it. I think we had some cool little facts, cool little tidbits, cool little finds, and I'm proud of us.
There is no trivia question for this minute these minutes because it'd be about the license plates, and that seems too arbitrary. So the quiz is done. On an upcoming bonus episode on the Patreon, we will take the quiz and oh boy, we got most of them wrong. Very cool. That is a wrap on the core movie. We still have a handful. We have 6, I believe, deleted scenes.
Yeah, I think.
And then we're going to watch the trailer, and then we're going to be in Tokyo Drift. That's again not going to be till October or something because we have every 3 weeks. So we got a lot more Too Fast to go. Things we've already talked about. We've already watched the trailer. We've already watched these deleted scenes. We're going to go by minute. Most of them, I think the 6 deleted scenes in total are about 4 minutes long. So very manageable, very doable.
Makes sense.
On the streets, news about the Fast and Furious, we have a jam-packed segment today.
We do. We know what is seemingly a projected date for the second movie. Mm-hmm. The second half of 10, Fast X.2, Part 2.
So according to Louis Leterrier, director of Fast 10, Fast 11, shooting on Fast 11 begins September 16th. He's shooting an indie horror movie this summer, wrapping on September 15th. The next day, he starts on Fast.
Which is interesting because we also learned tangentially that Vin is starting a new Riddick movie, right?
I'm getting to that, yes. So they're starting shooting on this, and then it's not going to be released until 2026.
Which, hey, that would kind of make sense, right? We had the writer's strike. Mm-hmm. We were on track for 2025.
Push it back by a year. It does not make sense that we got Hobbs & Shaw 2 announcements by The Rock on Instagram, and we've heard not a fucking peep out of that, and it was supposed to be Interquel. Yep. Ask me now, is The Rock Interquel? Is he?
No. As of right now, not. We thought he was. So
they're actually not shooting this fall. He's starting pre-production this fall. It's going to shoot early next year, release in 2026. Apparently, Tyrese on Instagram said shooting would start next year, and Leterrier said, quote, Tyrese is always right. Watch his Instagram, as he was like winking and like laughing about it. So gotta watch Tyrese on Instagram. We also gotta watch Vin on Instagram.
That's both hilarious tongue-in-cheek by Leterrier saying that like Tyrese always is right, but then Tyrese historically breaks a ton of shit that he shouldn't be talking about on Instagram. So Tyrese is always right on Instagram. Like when he like broke that Dr. Dre sold Beats to Apple. It was like, you're a billionaire now. You sold Beats to Apple. And everybody was like, not yet. Not yet. It could release 25 years to the day after the original one. So June of 2026, because the 25th anniversary is a Thursday. So if you think about opening on a Thursday before Friday, that would be so sick. It has to. And they have to do a double feature where they play the first movie and you get like a 2-ticket pass. It's like the first movie and the last movie. Or they just, last movie, then to watch the first movie again or something. Whatever. It'd be cool. It's genius to market it like that. You should absolutely do that. If you hear us, Universal, do that. That sounds good. What date was it released on, by the way?
June 15th, I think.
So the week after my birthday. Even better.
June 22nd, 2 weeks after your birthday.
Okay, fair.
It is going to be taking place in Los Angeles. Quote, that's what we're going to do. We're going to bring it home and still have a great big journey to tell.
Well, that sounds like a great idea, but based on some other news that we've gotten recently, that like...
We will get there. No, that I will get there too, because I need to make sure we phrase that, because that's on deep background. Yes. Not to cut you off, but I want to make sure that we respect our sources.
Okay. Deep background.
They asked if, they also asked if he knows how it's going to end, and he said yes.
Oh, okay, cool. That's good. I'm glad that he has a mental plan. That's cool. So the other news is that recently it seems like Vin went into this. Did we already talk about this?
We watched his Instagram story.
Yes. Oh, okay, so we did. All the rumors / logic kind of points to them sitting Vin down being like, hey, this last movie, we're really cutting it back. Mm-hmm. So for them to be like, we're bringing it home to Los Angeles and having a homecoming story just means like, you're not going fucking globetrotting on our dime this time. And sit the fuck down, because we're cutting this budget in half.
So we have heard that apparently we talked about Universal wanting to slash budget, get rid of people, like, as Joe's saying, but apparently Universal's freaking out, and they hired like marketers, market researchers to be like, what went wrong? How do we fix it?
In what, Fast 10?
In Fast 10. And apparently what they found, they asked a bunch of people, and they found that no one knows who any of these people are anymore. The cast is too big. There's too many people. They don't know what's going on. They don't know
Which
who
we've
people
been
are.
saying for years. I mean, we follow it greatly, and we do like all the tangential cast. But at the same time, we've kept saying they keep adding people and not killing anybody off. This is getting weird. That's why these movies need to be 3 hours long, because like we're at a point where like you can't have screen time for everyone. Yes. Okay, understood.
The very strange thing is what I realized in talking to this person is that Marvel does this thing where it's like, okay, here is Black Panther. Well, that's a bad example because he showed up in another thing first. But here's Thor. Here's Captain America. Here's Iron Man. Here's whatever. And then here they are all together.
Yeah, they build to Avengers.
The way that Fast and Furious does it is that every single movie is an Avengers movie. So when you have a new character, like you're introducing Elle, you're returning Han, there's not a Han and Elle movie. It's just 15 minutes in an Avengers movie. And it's impossible to actually like let
unpack
people know
anything.
Who these people are or explore anything, because you have to be like, okay, Han's back. How are they back? Mr. Nobody ? And then it's like, okay, but we're still in the middle of a plot where there's like a thing to end the world or whatever.
And you're like, well, let's add the lost Toretto brother that didn't exist and retcon that. And to explain that, it'll take us 15 minutes of bad timed, bad dated retcon flashbacks. And then we don't have time to talk to anybody about the movie that's actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly.
It's very strange, though, because I never thought... I mean, we compare it to Marvel all the time. I never thought about it like that. Like, it's an impossible task. Like, there's no way to make this good. I mean, good subjectively, right? Or objectively. Subjectively, obviously, they're all great. But, like, to a casual person who's watching these movies once every 3 years, it's like, hold on, who is this? Am I supposed to know them? Wait, Dom has a brother? Was he in other movies?
And you're like, John Cena was Dom's brother? Like, I remember John Cena being there, but, like, I don't remember that. And you're like, There was, like, that whole subplot for 15 minutes. You're like, oh, the flashbacks. That's right. Okay, cool.
For the upcoming installment, the final installment of Fast and Furious, this is from V Scooper on Twitter. It's scooping time. For the upcoming installment of Fast and Furious, there are ideas for Toretto mentioning new members of, quote, the family. In addition, Hobbs would partner up with new characters for his own agenda as well. All of this would potentially add fresh new storylines for the future. Someone replies saying, are they going to make it in 3 parts? He said, I don't think so. Seems like there will only be one more in the main saga, or at least a Toretto. And then someone else said, so is the Hobbs and Toretto movie still being made? Were they making this the endgame event? And he said they're still not sure what to do with that one.
Okay, so he says they're introducing new people, which is counter to what we've heard.
Also counter to what he says, like in the next tweet, but yeah.
I do think that there's a vision that they're having that they smash the front of the rock onto the beginning of Fast 10.5. That they don't do a Hobbs and Shaw 2 movie that's Interquel. That they just royally bungle this and give us the first 10 minutes of Hobbs in Fast X2 and then lead into Fast X2. And they're going to be like, here you go. That was what you wanted, right? Do you think that that's true? Because I think that that's what we're building up to right now. All signs lead to that for me.
Well, what I will say, and we'll get back to Vin, there's a thing from The Wrap, Red One Down, how Dwayne Johnson's tardiness led to a $250 million runaway production exclusive.
This is what I want to talk about, yes. We were all pointing now to this. This was a very interesting article. I read it as well. Joey sent it to me about a week or 2 ago.
So we have been saying on here for a long time that it seems like The Rock, as a producer, as a person, is spreading himself a little thin.
We've said that, and we've also said that, like, seemingly, from all reports, he was very professional about everything that he was doing, although he seemed to be spreading himself thin. Interesting.
There was a thing that apparently he was known to have peed in water bottles because he's too busy when he's working out to actually go to the bathroom. He needs to just pee right there.
During that and during sets. He didn't even go to the bathroom on set. He would just pee in a water bottle and get right back into it because he's the hardest working man in Hollywood.
So if you flash back to Fate of the Furious, The Rock takes to Instagram and talks about candy asses on set without naming names.
Yes.
Who made the experience miserable, who were showing up late, who weren't showing up, blah, 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 whatever.
And we always thought that, this was obviously Vin, and we presumed that Vin might be a little bit of a diva. He's 8 movies deep in these. These are kind of his.
And by this point in his career, The Rock has failed at nothing.
Nothing. And has been just stellar. Everybody loves him. Everybody talks great about him. Not a peep of discontent from anyone.
So this thing on the Wrap begins. For more than 2 decades, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has nurtured a reputation as a hard-working, muscle-bound action comedy movie star.
He has.
With considerable box office drawing power. But Red One, a high-powered Christmas crowd pleaser for Amazon MGM, has turned into a massive budgetary misadventure, casting Johnson's fame and work ethic in a different light.
Interesting.
So it was supposed to come out this past Christmas, but it was delayed till this November, supposedly because of the writer's strike. The real story is a lot messier, writes The Wrap. Production issues ranging from his chronic lateness and lack of professionalism on set to producers' inexperience caused costs on the movie, co-starring Chris Evans and J.K. Simmons, to spiral up above $250 million, a sum more fitting for a superhero tentpole. Considering this is going to be like a direct Amazon Prime, probably Christmas
only movie, yes. That probably everybody's going to watch like the day after Thanksgiving or whatever, and then never think about again.
They'll be like, did I watch that?
Yeah.
According to more than a dozen insiders directly involved in the project, the production was a perfect storm of problems compounded by the inexperience of the lead producer, Hiram Garcia of $7 Productions.
Yes, which is interessant, yes.
And Amazon MGM feature and production executives Julie Rappaport and Glenn Gaynor overseeing the project. Insiders told The Wrap that Johnson showed up as much as 8 hours late to set, forcing the crew to shoot around him on some days. On previous films, he made a habit of peeing in a water bottle to save time, upsetting crew members. Quote, on set, away from his trailer, if he needs to pee, he doesn't go in the public bathroom. He pees in a Voss water bottle and his team or a PA has to dispose of it.
I think that the first thing that I thought when I read that part of it was that, like, Voss water bottles are glass. So are they just chucking this glass in the trash and not recycling it? Because that seems very environmentally
Or do you bring it
unfriendly.
to the bathroom, rinse it out, and then recycle it?
And so you made a PA take your piss bottle to the bathroom to dump, rinse in the sink, which, I mean, hey, they're all pipes, as George Costanza says, right? It's all pipes. But at the same time, you make them carry your warm piss bottle to the bathroom to dump, rinse, and then recycle?
Don't know. So they were hoping this movie was going to be the start of a franchise. Written by Chris Morgan, who wrote most of the Fast and Furious movies.
Chris Morgan's been batting a fucking 1,000, right?
They went to CinemaCon this year. They were going to show the movie to people, but they were like, we're just going to show 10 minutes to select journalists who also, by the way, can't write about what they saw.
That's always a good sign.
And by that, you mean terrible idea. Terrible sign. They'd have no faith in it.
That's the same thing as that was what the Theranos lady did. Like, I have this thing, but you can only just see some of the results that I gave you, but that's it.
Amazon put out a statement saying, everything's great. He's not late. It's not production inexperience. We're all good.
Exactly. Precisely.
Johnson, who advocates for himself as, quote, the hardest worker in the room, has developed a reputation in the industry for his lateness and lack of professionalism on set. Said one insider, quote, the only thing Dwayne was consistent at was being chronically late. He apparently has shown up late to fan events, leaving entire sets idle while he was off doing 3-hour workouts. Earlier this month, he was 3 hours late ahead of his main event match at WrestleMania 40.
This was true, yes. This we have substantial proof of, yes.
At a WWE fan event in Philadelphia, he showed up 2 hours behind schedule, was booed from the crowd, and drew criticism from the local press.
I think one of them said that's where he was like, I was watching Jalen Hurts' fumble highlights or something like that. He made like a Eagles joke because it was in Philadelphia, so blah, blah, blah.
Quote, you're booing because The Rock was a little late? That's what you're booing? He asked the crowd. The Rock was watching YouTube, watching Jalen Hurts lose in the playoffs again.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
You boo because it's the truth. Now The Rock has shown up. You got greatness in front of you. You stand here, shut your mouth, and enjoy the ride The Rock is taking you on.
So I think that all of these jobs are appropriate for The Rock. He shouldn't have all of them at the same time.
Correct.
Is what the problem is. It's like He should be Hobbs. Fine. He
should be Interquel. He can be Hobbs and Interquel at the same time.
He should be Interquel. He should be running the XFL. You know what I mean?
Think so? Is that a good use of his time?
I'm saying that, like, of the people that could run the XFL, The Rock would be a great one to run the XFL. And
you could run the XFL as well as he could.
I know, but they won't let me. So I'm saying that The Rock is second to me, and I won't ever be considered. And then lastly, he should be involved in WWE still as, like, some kind of director of talent or whatever bullshit title he has there. He should still be involved in WWE. Should he do any of these things, like more than one of these things at the same time? Nope. No, absolutely not.
I think there's a
Terra tequila. Like he should probably have a tequila. That's awesome, dude. Go for it. And it's like at the same time as these 4 other things that you should probably devote your whole time to. Nope.
Look,
none of those.
I get that delegating is difficult, but like that's what like a leader does. They're like, hey, this is a thing. It's going to work.
He's tried, and he delegated to like his cousin friend for this movie production. He his wife runs the XFL. He's doing WWE. And in reality, he's probably the only qualified one of all of these people to do all 4 of these things, and he's not doing any of these things.
Mm-hmm. So he was an average of 7 to 8 hours late per day, missed several entire days of production, which apparently single-handedly cost the budget to raise by $50 million. Quote, "It was a fucking disaster," said one insider. Another said, quote, "Dwayne truly doesn't give a fuck."
You know what makes me really happy about this, though? Is that I thought at one point in my life that, like, these people that are, like, hyper successful like this, what was it? Mark Walberg, wake up and pray, 3:07 a.m., shower, breakfast, 3:09 a.m. Like, that those people just, like, lived this ridiculous lifestyle that was just so much, they were accomplishing so much more than I could ever imagine. And it turns out they are not. They're just lying. They're just fucking lying and being shitty at 15 things that they're trying to do, like all of us.
When I met one of Margaret's friends for the first time, she's like, "Wait, hold on. So you work a job, you do all this podcast stuff, you spend time with Margaret." She's like, "How do you do this?" I'm like, "I'm just tired all the time. Like I'm always tired. Like it's the whole because like always I'm just like no, I'm always doing something."
Yeah. Yes.
Apparently, The Rock has been late. For like his entire career, he was late an average of 3 to 4 hours on set for Ballers, 4 to 5 hours late on Rampage. One person was started.
So why were they covering for him? Is what I want to know.
A co-star kept records of his tardiness. Dwayne's call times are never ever published because one of the actors on Rampage was keeping a log of how late he was to set every day.
That's kind of amazing. That's something petty that I would do, like note in my phone, like 3 hours on January 5th.
So he also refuses to work more than 4 or 5 hours a day because he's like, I gotta work out for 3 hours, so I can't shoot for more than 5.
And I need 17 hours of sleep to get all my XFL stuff done.
The most famous confrontation with the co-star was Vin Diesel. Quote, "Vin has been having problems with The Rock because The Rock keeps showing up late for production. Sometimes he doesn't show up at all, and he's delaying the production."
So now that's where it gets interesting for us, right?
Yep.
So the rumors were always that Vin was showing up late. We will never know the true answer. Like, we might not ever know the true answer, but it seems like this was both of them being kind of shitbags. And we thought The Rock, like, wasn't involved in this, and then we kept coming out that we were like, maybe Vin has something here, maybe Vin has something here. I don't know. What do you think?
I think it just means that The Rock has better PR. I also think it's the kind of thing where, like, perhaps like some politicians are very vocal against social issues because they themselves also are secretly that
gay?
Same kind of person. Yes.
You mean, is that what you mean? Yeah. The ones that like really hate the gays are usually probably gay. Yeah.
So maybe him saying a lot of unprofessional candy asses on set. It's like, well, you know, yourself included.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Apparently, the Voss thing has been kicking around since 2017. And he said, quote, "I usually stay pretty hydrated. I need to go to the bathroom a lot. Not a lot, but probably a couple times during every workout I have to go to the bathroom, so I break out the bottle."
Bro, where the fuck are you that your gym isn't next to a toilet? Like, I'm assuming you're working out in your house most of the time, And if you're
I guess if he's shooting, if he's on set somewhere, if he's not near his house, like he might just be like, he might, rent out who knows, you know what I mean? But like,
all of this seems like so much work to me.
Oh, so the guy who's like leading the production from $7, Hiram Garcia, is Danny Garcia's brother. So
exactly, there you go. That's what I said. Yeah,
wife, ex-wife, business partner, current business partner, ex-wife.
Yeah,
her brothers. They call him Turtle. Like if The Rock is Vinny Chase, this guy is Turtle, just like a hanger-on.
Yeah, which is great. I'm glad that you like pick up your family, you bring them with you, but like at least give him like an assistant producer that is competent. You know what I mean? Like you have to like upsell someone that is like can do the job to figurehead him. But The Rock is fumbling because he's putting these people in positions of power that shouldn't actually have the power and letting them like actually do the thing. It's like, no. What you do is you put them there and then you give them somebody that's like actually good at the job right underneath them and let them take the credit and the money. And then nobody gets in trouble. It's all good.
One insider said Garcia, quote, rarely ever knows the schedule on his own projects. A second added, quote, he should have picked up on how to keep track of his schedule and budget, but I haven't seen him take any interest in doing that.
This is ultimately reading this article. I was like, why can't I be this guy? I just want somebody to like me and then just fuck up all the time. I guess maybe that's what I do now anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, yeah. Just fuck up all the time and then like, that's it. And you're like, do you want to do this part? Nope, I don't want to do that at all. Like that. Well, that's like the whole part of the job. You're like, don't want to do that.
This ends with Johnson's last two would-be blockbusters, Skyscraper in 2018 and Black Adam last year, underperformed both critically and commercially. Next up is A24's The Smashing Machine, a biopic about UFC fighter Mark Kerr, directed by Benny Safdie. He's set to star alongside Emily Blunt. However, one insider warned, quote, Benny has no clue what he's gotten himself into.
I don't know what Benny Safdie is going to do with The Rock, but I did see The Rock post a video of him training UFC, saying how hard it was. But I think that was just like the first PR move to counter this thing. Like, I'm practicing. Told you, I'll be on set on time.
Mm-hmm. Also shooting this summer is Riddick, Furya, the fourth Riddick movie.
Furya is an interesting title of the movie to come out when Furiosa's about to come out.
Oh, I just bought my ticket for that today. I'm so excited.
Oh, did the tickets come out? Okay,
yeah, tickets I think went on sale today.
Okay, I'm going to get mine too. Thank you.
The film, which follows Pitch Black, Chronicles of Riddick and Riddick, will shoot in Germany, Spain, and the UK. Riddick finally returns to his home world, a place he barely remembers and one he fears might be left in ruins, but there he finds other Furians fighting for their existence against the new monster, and some of these Furians are more like Riddick than he ever could have imagined.
Ooh. Whatever, we'll watch it. We'll cover it.
He's also going to be in, obviously, the Fast and Furious finale, Mattel's Rock'em Sock'em Robots, and Universal's Kojak. Is he playing Kojak? Do you know Kojak?
The Rock?
No, this is Vin.
Oh, yeah, Vin? I don't know. Is he playing Kojak?
I don't know.
Did we know that?
I don't think I've been to Vin Diesel's IMDb in a long time. Let's see what he's got going on. Because Kojak is like...
imagine...
He's a bald detective always sucking on a lollipop and saying, oh, one more thing.
That'd be kind of cool, I guess.
It's not on here. He's got 8 things coming up, including Triple X4, Riddick Furya, Fast X Part 2, and untitled Fast and Furious film. They're still trying to figure things out, but... Universal Studios is getting a roller coaster, Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift.
Okay, so I'm skeptical because they said, like, it's a roller coaster, but they've been calling everything roller coasters, and they're not fucking roller coasters, so I don't know what to think about this.
It'll include a, quote, groundbreaking 360-degree rotation of the individual ride vehicles as they rocket along an elaborate track. The goal is to create a sensation of drifting cars as guests spin in motion at furiously fast speeds.
I mean, like, yeah, that sounds good, but are they actually going to be on a track is what I want to know.
I don't know. It's set to debut in 2026, right alongside the movie, apparently, and is the park's first high-speed outdoor roller coaster, and will, quote, elevate the guest experience with innovative and technological achievements never previously employed in a roller coaster. Past guest of the show, Austin Wolf Southern, has a Substack, wolfsouthern.substack.com, which is free to subscribe to. He also has a Patreon. He's been chronicling 1,001 plus films I'm glad to have seen before I die. He tracks this on Letterboxd, but he kind of copies and pastes like highlights to here.
Okay.
And so he's working his way through 1,000 movies he loves.
Yeah.
And on one that came out either last week or the week before, he included on there Fury 7. So here's his write-up for Fury 7.
Okay.
I'm reading this for a reason, not just because he mentions Fast and Furious. The Rock breaks a cast off his arm by flexing the cars. Driving off an airplane is the best possible thing that could be done in an action film about cars. One of my favorites in a series of nothing but favorites. And here we go. Also features a quick reference to someone named No Niece Denise, who is never mentioned again, but she is my favorite character in the franchise.
My absolute favorite character in the franchise.
And so I liked the post, and I commented and said, any post that mentions No Niece Denise gets an automatic heart. And he said, I just want to point out, I was on the very first 2F2F episode where No Niece was brought up. And I said, your impact is unmatched.
Thank you, Austin.
The only other news that I have is, it feels like forever ago, Ludacris was on Hot Ones.
Oh, I totally missed that.
I put it in the Discord. By the way, join the Discord.
Yeah. Join the Discord. It's fun.
Email family@cageclub.me. We'll get you a link, or just, get in touch with us one other way. But Ludacris on Hot Ones. So here's the big things from it. I watched it. I took some notes. I think Jason or someone on the Discord commented on stuff. So Luda buys a car from every movie. Every movie that he's in,
yes.
He buys one car.
Okay, so I know this part. Go ahead.
The only one he did not buy a car was 6, because in the UK it has a flip steering wheel. He's like, I can't drive that. He said his favorite stunt in a Fast and Furious movie was Paul 360 driving a car in Too Fast.
Okay.
So like, do you do your own stunts? He's like, we used to more than we do now. My favorite one was Paul. He's like, Paul was really good behind the wheel.
Everybody says that, yeah. I mean, everybody says that's like a universally known thing.
Sean Evans asked him about Gibseyhana, the Benihana in Tyrese's backyard. And apparently what Tyrese does is he goes to Benihana and he's like, hey, you work here? You want to make more money? You want to work at my Benihana? And just like hires Benihana
just poaches.
chefs. Mm-hmm. Just like, how much you make? I'll give you more.
So I think that this isn't the same as Tommy Lee having a Starbucks in his house.
No, this is, I think, Tyrese's own version.
Tyrese has a hibachi grill in his backyard, and he hires Benihana chefs to cook in his backyard.
Yeah, chef.
Yeah, I think that's, but he imagines it the same as Tommy Lee's Starbucks. That was like a staffed official Starbucks only accessible by Tommy Lee in his house. That like was like a franchisee. Like it had. Did you ever see it? Do you remember this?
No, I'm just thinking about in Richie Rich. Richie Rich had a McDonald's in his house. I didn't know that Tommy Lee had this in his house.
No, Tommy Lee had a Starbucks, and because like there's like rules to Starbucks, it had to be like you could buy beans to go. Like it had shelving and like items for sale like a Starbucks.
Okay.
But it's in his house, so he's not buying any of these fucking things. He just like, give me my fucking Starbucks. This is my house.
Okay.
Yeah, but it had to like look like it was like a franchise. So I think that in Tyrese's head, he imagines that he has a Benihana in his house, but he's really recreating a Benihana experience on his grill that's in his backyard.
Well, you know that like Barbra Streisand has an entire mall in her basement?
A mall? No, I didn't know this.
She like
has,
a
shopping mall?
Yeah, because she's, I think, like just too famous. She loves shopping, so she recreated like an entire mall, I think, in her basement. And there's like, like retail.
Does she
stores.
own all this stuff already?
I think she must.
It's a closet then.
Yeah, but like in the
this
form
is a
of
closet
mall.
Shaped like a mall.
Yeah.
And then you have like a fake credit card. You walk up and you're like, I'll buy this today. And you're like, oh, it's really expensive. And you're like, yeah, you already bought this. Like you just have like Barbie, like the Barbie mall or something, right? That's awesome though. I want to be this rich that people have to pretend around me.
I mean, Barbra Streisand's also like cloned her dog multiple times, so the dog keeps dying. Well, not keeps dying, but you know what I mean? But like, the dog died, but she like cloned it for like $15,000. And so instead of getting a new dog, she just had her dog
but
again.
That's peasant money. I'm talking about like, I want people to be in character around me to bring the reality that I want to myself. That's a level of rich that I want to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That like I would have like a fully staffed like what do? You're like, I work at the mall in Barbra Streisand's house. You're like, what the fuck does that mean? And you're like, we show up every day, we open everything at 8:00, we like roll up the giant metal gates, like the store's open, and then there's a food court. I work at the Jamba, like the Orange Julius there.
Once or twice a week.
The Orange Julius there, and whenever she comes in, it's just this like deserted mall that she just shops in. That's just that's incredible.
I don't know, man. Seems wild to be that rich.
It does. It absolutely does.
Joe, you already answered it before, but I'm going to ask you once again, just in case things have changed in the last 20 minutes. Is Dwayne Johnson Interquel?
We don't fucking know. I don't know. We thought yes for a while. This is much like him running for president.
If you were setting Vegas odds, heavy favorite number of Fast and Furious movies is 1, right? Like that's the front runner.
What do you mean?
If you're setting odds to bet, how many more Fast and Furious movies will you have with this core cast? What's the favorite?
1.
Is it 1?
1.
Would you set the over-under of 1.5 and just like take the under?
No, you set it at 0.5 because there's a good chance this movie doesn't get made.
You think there's a chance that there's 0?
I think that there's a better chance that there's 0 than that there is of 2.
Interesting.
I think the Vegas line would be 0.5 because if they're like cutting it back and like moving it to LA and trying to cut things and Vin's a little bit of a diva and The Rock's a little bit of a diva and like they need them, there's a chance that this thing just like falls apart and they just like rage about it.
Is there any version of the world where we get more than 1, do you think? Or is it just 1? Is it 0 or 1?
You said with the core cast as a qualifier, so no.
Yeah, like I'm saying like not like
they're gonna
not like
reboot
like if there's a
this,
reboot like Vin is in a scene, like that doesn't count. But I'm talking about
that's
like
what I'm saying.
Where it's not like the next generation. It's not like Spy Racers, right? It's just like it's these movies.
I do not think that we will get more than 1 of these based on the trajectory that I'm seeing right now.
Man, how things have spiraled.
Yeah, you know everybody that bitches that like why do they make more Fast and the Furious movies? Guess what? This train is coming to a halt. From everything that I'm seeing, they are pretty much done with them.
You know what's honestly kind of sad and also ironic and also makes sense?
What?
They add these names to like, you know, grow the franchise to be more popular elsewhere, but like if they had kept things small and core, the movies would be better, they would make more sense, there'd be fewer egos on set. The movies would cost less money.
You would think.
There'd
all
be
of
less
these
drama.
See, I'll run the XFL. You start producing Fast and the Furious movies, and I think we can solve all the world's problems.
We'll get Brian on Terra Tequila.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
We have a Patreon page, toofast2forever.com. Shout out to Cassie Wilson, Nick Burris, Alex Ellen, and Justin Kleiman, Brian Rodriguez of High School Slumber Party, and Terra Tequila. Wes Hampton, Jerry Robinson. Should I change? No, he pays for the privilege to be to mention his podcast. I was going to say Brian Rodriguez of Terra Tequila, but I want to make sure, whatever. It's fine.
It's fine.
Wes Hampton, Jerry Robinson, Dan the Duke, Hayden, who just had a birthday. Happy birthday, Duke.
Happy birthday, Dan.
Michael McGann, Lane Middleton, Lindsay Lewandowski, Nate Milton of the Kings of Sport, Jason Rainey, Tom Price, Mike Gallagher, Josh Buckley of Whole Lot of Wolves.
Yep.
Michael Moser, Christian Larson, Taryn Newone, Aaron Willows, and Natalie Absolute, Randy Carter, Josh Goularm, and Jessica Collins, a.k.a. Montez. Thank you all so much for supporting us. The $5 a month level or above. The Too Fast, Too Furious quiz is locked. Linked in the pinned post there. So if you want to join the Patreon, take that quiz. We will be taking it on an upcoming Patreon bonus episode. But if you want to take it, toofast2forever.com. We also have an email address, family@cageclub.me. A lot of chatter going on in Discord. That's where all the conversation's happening. We do have 2 emails today, but first, Joe, a YouTube comment.
What's up, Motor Miles?
On the Neverending Story, Matt, maybe your friend Matt, I don't know, simply says, hi.
Oh, hi, Matt. Oh, hi, Mark.
Joe, our first email today is from Jackie Jones. Jackie emailed us last year. Jackie talked about the Full Throttle franchise, the book of essays, edited by Josh Goularm, Fraser Elliott, and Sarah Feinstein.
Well, hello, Jackie. Again.
Jackie also emailed again about that. Then they said, what do you think are the educational histories of the crew? Who was the best and worst students? Who dropped? Who has a degree? And who has a GED? We know Mia was in school. She's the only one
med school.
Canonically we know was in school.
But I don't think she finished.
Well, we know that Vin and Vince, or Dom and Vince, met each other in the 3rd grade. So they at least went to elementary school together.
Yeah.
Best student, worst student, who do you think?
I think Brian has to be at least semi-educated to wind up at the FBI.
Well, he's a white man. He fails upwards.
But I think you still need an education to, like, make it to the FBI.
I think Elena is probably the best student in the entire family.
Excellent pick. Very, very good. I think Ramsey's up there.
Mm-hmm. Although I can also see her dropping out of high school.
That's fair, but I think that she was probably a very good student while she was in school.
Do you think she's a good student? Is she too smart for the room and just like wouldn't turn in her homework because she didn't see a point?
No. I think she was a very good, very organized student.
Worst student?
You can't be
Roman?
like a worst student, Roman.
What are you saying? You can't be a what?
You can't be like this good at like coding, hacking, planning without having some strategery. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like,
I'm just thinking like, because like Bill Gates and all those guys like dropped out of high school because they're just like, I don't need it.
That's fine, but that doesn't mean that they weren't good students. You know what I mean? It's not a lot of like, I couldn't do school, so like I just invented computers. It's like, oh no, like I was fine and I just invented computers.
So who do you think of the family has a degree? Who finished college? At least an associate's.
Brian.
Yep.
That's about it. I bet Mia has an associate's. I bet
Mia's
was
got
in
something.
School. She's got something. I think The Rock was really bad at school, but has a degree.
Okay.
Hobbs, not The Rock. Hobbs.
Okay.
I think Hobbs was like the kid that like was always like staying after with the teacher and like going to like, well, late, but but he would like go to like office hours and stuff like that to like charisma them into passing him, even though he was a bad student.
Fast talker.
Yeah, like that. Han, possibly. We know he at least went to high school.
He at least went to high school.
Yeah.
Twinkie probably has a degree. I think Twinkie probably hustled his way through high school and then hustled his way through college in terms of just like, he probably saw it as an opportunity to make money on the side where students are.
He went to like online school and like got somebody else to write his papers for him by paying them or something, trading them sneakers. And he like has a degree. He like didn't do it. And he's not dumb, but he like did that. He has a
no Cypher.
Cypher, I think yes.
Jacob,
I think yes, and I think that he was like also dumb and charming like The Rock, probably not a very good student, but he was enthusiastic about learning. Whereas I think The Rock was just trying to like charisma his way through.
Deckard?
Yeah. Deckard, yeah. But it was like military school. You know what I mean? Like it was something like along these lines. Like it was like a boarding school or military school.
Giselle?
Yeah. She was like Israeli special ops or whatever. So I think that she probably went to some school. Rico and Tego, absolutely no school.
No, zero school. 8th grade education. Just
at
made
the
on the
most.
streets. Start their own garage.
Most. Yeah. Tej?
Nah.
High school, and that was it.
Started his own garage by when he was like 19.
Yeah, I think so. That makes sense.
Yeah. Good email.
That's a great email. Great thought process. Great thought experiment. I really like doing that. That was fun. Did we miss anybody?
I mean, not, you can get in Hobbs and Shaw, like all those characters like Queenie and Locke.
We did. No, but I mean like
the core family. No.
Okay, cool.
The other email today is from Terra. Subject line: long time no mail.
What's up, Terra?
Terra says, "What up, J&J? Sorry it's been a while since I sent an actual email, but since I get to talk to you in the Discord, insert Discord plug here, I get to just tell you my thoughts whenever I think them. Again,
yes,
the Discord.
We love it, and I love it.
A few days ago, something happened I want to share with my familia at large. I bike to work and have for a long time. We don't have a bike rack, so I've been locking it up to a cart rack in the farther corner, away from thieving eyes."
What is a cart rack?
Don't know.
Okay.
Well, Friday night I got off work to find my bike missing, my bike lock cut, lying on the ground.
No, sorry, Terra.
They got it on camera. It seems like some truck driver from the truck stop next door must have seen me park it, came in, bought bolt cutters, went out, cut the lock, and took it.
Did they return the bolt cutters? Because that's hilarious if they did.
I don't know. So I go, the email's a lot longer, so who knows? Maybe there's
okay,
twists and turns.
Okay.
So I get home bummed, trying to figure out what I'm going to do, wondering if this is my sign to get out of the job because I've been feeling very unseen and underappreciated as of late.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Saturday I get in, one of my managers lets me know they're taking up a little collection. I was on my way to the bathroom when she told me, so I wound up happy crying in the bathroom at work, which is not normally the type of crying you do in the bathroom at work, LOL.
No, it's definitely not.
Well, anyway, I don't think she was supposed to tell me because later one of the other managers calls a meeting that surprised me not only with a new bike, but with flowers, bike accessories, a card, cash, and a gift card.
Very cute. That's awesome.
I cried more reading the card, and then when I got home, I cried when I added up how much money they raised, $800 in just one morning. I'm beyond humbled they care so much about me. I've made about 6 batches of Joe's Rice Krispie Treats that I plan on bringing in to thank them all. 3 in traditional style, 3 with Cocoa Pebbles, Golden Grams, and chocolate chips.
You know how to win them over, Terra. You do. That's it. Hit them with those Rice Krispie Treats. But this is so cute. This is a very cute story.
When they first saw the bike, I was a bit trepidatious. It says Ozark Trail on the side, which if you don't know is the brand name Walmart uses for camping and outdoor sports goods. Let's be honest, Walmart brands are known for affordability, not quality. I had made a decision a while back that if I get another bike, I want to get a nice one worth investing in and thief-proofing. The Schwinn that was stolen only cost me like $100 plus another $200 in parts that broke, and the bike functioned, but it wasn't the best to ride. So tell me this new one is the best bike Walmart has in stock, but at first glance I'm just like, how? The pedals are cheap plastic, the seat barely has any cushion, there's no kickstand. But I go to look up information on it, like where I can get a kickstand for it. When I come across a subreddit, are budget bike riders that thinks this particular model is the best bike ever made.
Oh my God.
Or at least the best bike you can possibly get without spending over $1,000 up front. Kickstand is missing because most mountain bikers take it off because it gets caught on stuff. The pedals and seat are cheap because they assume most people are going to replace them with their preference first anyway, so no reason to spend too much money on them. Instead, all the money went to a few key components like the suspension, as well as the actual frame itself, both the design and the quality. It's basically made to be upgraded.
That is so cool. I'm going to check out this bike now. Okay.
It's got ports in the frame so that you can run cables for your gear shift and your brake through the bike instead of leaving them loose. And it's got additional ports so that if you install other components like a dropper post, you can run those cables through as well. From what I can tell, it's basically the tuner car of bikes, and I'm really excited to work on it.
Oh, that's so cool.
First thing I'm going to try and do is give it a custom paint job. I heard making a bike loud and conspicuous makes it less attractive to thieves, as well as making it easier to identify and recover if stolen. I have no idea what I'm doing, but if it turns out bad, well, who'd want to steal an ugly bike?
It's actually a really smart move. I think that's a genius move.
Terra also says, I finished lap 7 in my journey through the backlog. I have a lot of thoughts, but this email's long enough already, so instead I'll give you my full, long, overdue rankings.
That was the cutest fucking story. Thank you, Terra. That was a very cute story. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for the bike. It looks cool. I looked it up. Rachel's stepsister and her boyfriend are very into mountain biking, so if you want to connect with them, they actually have a mountain biking podcast.
So here are Terra's rankings, okay?
Yes.
Number 1, you want to go top down or bottom up? She has top down.
Top down works.
Number 1, the one where Paul dies.
Okay.
Any movie that makes me cry is automatically my favorite.
Okay. Fair enough.
Number 2, Too Fast, Too Furious. If Roman and Brian made it out, this would be my favorite. Oh, no. If Roman and Brian made out, this would be my favorite.
That's a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
They made it out. But
they made it
out.
I was like, what do you mean made out? Yeah. Number 3, Fast 10, your seatbelts.
Okay. That's 3. Very high. Okay, cool.
I don't know. I really like the action sequences as well as Uncle Jacob. Very family while feeling very new. Number 4, the 5 Ast and the 5 Urias. It's Fast 5. I couldn't put it any lower than this.
Yeah, fair enough.
Number 5, the Fast 6T and the Furya 6. It's good, not as good as 5.
Okay.
Number 6, 1H Fast and 1H Furious. Very 2000s, but in the best way.
I agree.
Number 7, Hobbs ampersand ND Shaw ampersand. Everything good and bad about current F&F cranked up to 11.
I think Hobbs and Shaw is a ton of fun. I will die on this horse.
Number 8, the 3 Fast and 3 Furious. Too dark visually.
Tokyo Drift is just too. That's the best. That's the best sight you could have of it. Like it's just really dark. I mean, like.
Number 9, the Fast and the Furious. Too dark thematically.
Okay.
Number 10, Fate of the Furious. F8. Too dark thematically.
Fair.
Number 11, F9. I just don't like it.
Okay.
Anyway, that's all
Great
for now.
rankings.
Nothing but love for my family, Terra.
Much love. Enjoy your new bike, Terra.
Seems very cool.
Very fucking cool.
Very, very cool. That's also good to get new rankings. We've not had rankings in a while. So if you're out there listening, you've not emailed in, send me your rankings.
Yeah, you're helping the algorithm.
We have a store at cagesclub.me/shop if you want to go there, poke around.
Shit's probably on sale, and if it's not, it'll be on sale next week.
2 or 3 times a month, yeah.
Yeah,
we can't control it. We didn't even get stuff for free, so.
Yep, nope.
Joe,
my own.
Extracurricular activities. You've been teasing for a while that you got stuff coming up. That stuff came up and happened. What have you been up to since we last spoke?
Okay, so I had 2 huge things that happened since we last spoke. 3 weekends ago, I went back to Pittsburgh for my sister's wedding. She got married in Pittsburgh. Rachel and I were in the bridal party. I got to see a lot of people that I know, and it was a very nice event all around, and she is now married. So congratulations to them.
Shout out Maria.
Congratulations to them. I'm glad that I got to see a bunch of people that I haven't seen in a while, and I was happy to successfully accomplish that and not get myself into trouble at all in any facet while I was there that weekend. Just got blitzed and drank a lot and had a good time.
Cool.
Then we came back, and I went for the annual boys trip, now including wives and girlfriends, of our fantasy hockey league in Vegas to go watch the draft. And that is probably my favorite weekend in the entire fucking year. Went down there. We had new attendees that had never attended before.
Very cool.
That was very cool.
Wait, new to the league or just new that they've never been there before?
No, so there's been a crew of us that go. I think it's 5 or so. The league is 10 people.
Okay.
So we are eventually, now this is I think our 3rd year in Vegas for the draft. But it's just it's one of my favorite times. We just go to Circa, sit there in the sports book. We watched round 1 of the draft, and Circa had a table in the sports book. There's a bunch of screens, yelled, had fun, drank. Then you know what else we did in Vegas this time when we were there? We went to fucking Meow Wolf.
Oh, in Vegas. I didn't know there was one in Vegas. That's very cool.
There is one in Vegas. It's really cool. And the Vegas one has Omega Mart, which is a fake grocery store.
Oh, okay, cool. Can you buy stuff there, or is it just for walking around?
You can buy stuff and for walking around, and then in the back of it, there's a whole secret, the art installation of Omega Mart. But the front of it just looks like this grocery store that's selling all this dumb shit that it's oops, all dumb shaped marshmallows. So it's screws and bolts and nuts and things in your cereal, and you can buy this.
Okay.
And then they have t-shirts and stuff, and there was all kinds of goofy beverages and fake. All of these things are novelty prop items, very
Sure.
Spencer's-y back in the day. But there's a lot of those that are fun. I don't think we'd bought any of those. I got a new water bottle. I forget what Rachel got, something like a keychain or something like that. Oh, all the signs are really funny, Joey. We were laughing at all these. On the outside of it, it's buy one, get that one.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like this. And then also Meow Wolf itself is really cool. It's if you guys don't know, they have a couple of them. There's I think one in New Mexico, one in Denver. But it's mostly a kid. It's an adult Dave and Buster's is the best I can describe it. But artsy.
Yep.
So there's a lot of have you been to one?
I went to Meow Wolf in Denver.
Okay, cool. I haven't been to the Denver one, obviously. And yeah, it's bars, and there was a kind of a top golf upstairs, and there was an arcade bar. But we just went as an adventure one day and did that. It was fun. Then we go to Stadium Swim, sit there, another sports book with a pool at Circa, drink, watch more sports, and we just sat around and got fucked up and bullshitted. And
love it.
I stayed up too late in Vegas because some of my friends are on California time, so it's not that late to them, but it's very, very, very late to us. So that's what I did. Yeah, it was a good time. Ate Korean barbecue. We always go to a Korean barbecue while we're there.
Super cool.
That was my past couple weekends. I was glad to be home for a couple weekends now, and I'm leaving again in 2 weeks. So I have a very busy travel schedule for a while for no fucking reason other than I did it to myself. This one actually is for work, so I'll tell you guys about the work trip when I come back from the work trip.
Also, big Pittsburgh news today.
This is actually really weird because they lose a year of control by calling Paul Skeens up.
Well, if he comes in first or second in Rookie of the Year voting, he gains a year anyway.
He gains a year.
Well, no, I mean, like, he would pick up. So, like, if they call him up after Memorial Day, like after June 1st, and he comes in first or second, he would still, like,
lose a year of control anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So everybody says like the Pirates are super cheap, which they are. Everybody says the Pirates suck, which they do. So the rumors were always that he was going to come up after June 1st to make sure that they retained a year of control of his contract based on the draft rules, blah, blah, blah. But he comes up this weekend, so I can finally watch the Pirates again because other than Joey's boy, Jared Jones, they fucking stink.
Yep.
I was fully in F1 Steelers mode. The Steelers fucking crushed the draft. I didn't even talk about that. I'm hype as shit. They, like, look at any fucking draft grade. Steelers are 1 or 2 in best draft class. Yeah. Like, and they did, like, a composite, like, what was it? It was like a GPA, Joey, because, like, you know how they're always like A, B, C, D, whatever, right? Like, they always like grade them as grades, and so they did like a composite GPA, and Steelers were like across all draft analysts, like they had the highest GPA.
Yeah, the official one on NFL.com has them at number 1.
I told you, they fucking crushed it. We did excellent. The con man striketh. I don't know what we're gonna do about wide receivers, but the fucking offensive line works now, and I'm very excited. So I'm hyped for football season. The Pirates can stink as much as they want. Hockey's in playoffs that has no Penguins in it. But alas, I have optimism. What?
The Vikings are 28th, C+.
Yeah, they did some things.
You know?
So I was watching. So one of my buddies that came this year is a Vikings fan. And as we're watching, it's like, you guys were like, oh, we traded up, pick swap. I was like, cool. And then it was like traded up again. I was like, pick swap, cool. And then like at the end of that, I looked at like what you guys gave up for what you got. And I was like, that was a lot of picks. There was a whole, like, it was, you know, you microtransactioned the draft.
I think next year they have a 1 and then like a 5. Like, they're fucked next year too.
That's what it sounded like. Like, each individual one didn't seem bad, and then at the end of the draft, they were like, this is what the Vikings gave up and what they got. And I was like, that was a lot of microtransactions. Like, that was, it added up pretty quick there. You guys got drunk and loose real fast, and it happens. So... How about poor Kirk, though?
Why, because they drafted Penix?
Yeah, and also the rumors came out that one of the reasons why Kirk left the Vikings is because they told him they were going to draft a quarterback in the first round, and he said, like, oh, I want to go somewhere that, like, isn't going to do that to me. I'll go to the Falcons. And then they didn't tell him that they were about to draft a quarterback in the first round, and they absolutely did it to him.
My barber thinks it's a good pick. The only person I've heard in the world who's like, that's a good pick, is my barber. He's like, look, quarterback of the now, quarterback of the future. I'm like,
everybody keeps saying Jordan Love. But alas, you did pay Kirk Cousins $150
million
guaranteed, and we, as we've learned, most of the time the cheat code in the NFL right now is to have a rookie quarterback on a rookie contract, because if you do, then you can spend that money other places. And the Falcons accomplished neither of those in one pick.
Well, they could have maybe 1 year of Penix under team control after the Kirk contract expires.
But you spent all the money on Kirk, so, like, and they can't get out of it either. It's guaranteed money. It's like, it's weird. It's very strange. Enjoy. Oh, poor Nate Milton. I forgot. Fuck. He's a Falcons fan.
Nate is literally the only person I know who's a Falcons fan.
I'm going to the Falcons Steelers game this year. Because Matt lives there, so, like, and they're playing the Falcons in Atlanta again, and it was a blast last time we went. It was just like a fucking Steelers takeover, so I'm gonna do that.
Maybe I'll have 2 quarterbacks in the backfield.
Oh, you're gonna run double quarterbacks, Wildcat to Penix. You can hand it off to Kirk or just run it.
Super cool.
I like that. Yeah.
What have I been up to since we last did one of these? Saw Sasquatch Sunset in theaters, which is a movie where Jesse Eisenberg, Riley Keough, and a couple other actors are Sasquatches. They say there's no dialogue in the entire movie. They're farting and shitting in the woods.
That sounds like nothing I ever want to see.
It's very good. Very
Is
funny.
It?
Yeah. It's wild that it's in theaters. I mean, it's gone from theaters now. I think it's probably on VOD now, but, like, it's insane. It's insane to me that the movie was in theaters.
Oh, I have something else to say now that you brought up media, because I was so distracted by what I did.
Go for it.
They brought back possibly the single-handedest greatest reality trash TV I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah?
For a second season. MILF Manor 2 is out now.
I can't believe I got a second season.
We had no idea how they were going to do it. And can I spoil the the very first episode twist and explain to you exactly how they got a MILF Manor season 2?
Mm-hmm.
So my friend and I, that's in my fantasy league.
Let's be clear. You're not spoiling anything for me. You're spoiling it because I'm never going to watch the show.
I know. But I was giving a heads up to the listeners.
It's very kind of you.
My friend in California and I were talking about it. We were like, there's no way that they can have the moms and sons come back and do this show again. That was the creepiest, grossest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
We're like, season 2's coming out. We're like, there's no fucking way. They start the show. They have all the old cougars. They have all the young boys. And it's not their sons, right? Because they would know, right? Hopefully. They would know. So I'm like, oh, like, what are they going to do? Like, are they going to eventually bring their sons in or blah, blah, blah? What? End of the first episode, you know who walks out?
No, who?
Take a guess.
The Rock.
No, those boys' dads. And it's the dads and the sons both trying to bed the old cougars.
Honestly, that's a pretty good twist.
It's a pretty good twist, right? Okay, so we're like, that's how they got a season 2. And it's going about as well as you can imagine it is. So
terribly?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I picked my favorite one, and I instantly
your favorite
sniffed
MILF
out
or your favorite boy.
Favorite MILF.
Okay.
I instantly sniffed out the trampiest one. I watched them do their.
I mean, that's what hosting Coastal Grand Bros is all about.
Exactly. I saw them introduce themselves. And I said, Rachel, that one's the biggest secret whore. I like that one. And I was right. I think that I was firmly in the right camp as of right now. So I'm sticking with her, and I'm enjoying it. Sorry for the MILF Manor 2 tangent. Please watch it. It's so fucking good. If you like train wreck shit, MILF Manor 2 episodes out right now. Probably a third one. It comes out on Sundays.
Well, let's pivot to talk about real art. Because the day after I saw Sasquatch Sunset, a little album called The Tortured Poets Department came out.
I haven't heard anything about it. That's
double
a scary
album.
Thought.
It's
Is
great.
It good?
It's great.
Do you like it?
It's great, yeah. I had lunch with Heather Antos, past guest, future guest of the show, Heather Antos. We talked Taylor. I literally was wearing, to celebrate, a Taylor sweatshirt, and we went to this restaurant that was playing Taylor songs, and the waitress came over and only talked to Heather about Taylor. Like boys could not possibly. I'm just like, I'm literally, but okay, sure.
You should have wore a Chiefs jersey. She would have talked to you.
Oh.
That's your new in, yeah.
Then Margaret and I went to a Rays Yankees game. The Yankees won, so I am 3-0. Home team's winning. Tigers game we went to.
Fucking A. Good
Tigers
job,
won.
Dude.
Both Yankee games I've been to this year. Yankees won, which is very exciting. Saw Challengers in theaters, the Zendaya tennis movie. Great. It's one of the best movies of the year.
Really?
Yeah.
I told you. I said I have strong apprehension for it, even though every part of it should be something that I like. Everything that I saw about it was like, I don't want to watch this.
I mean, Coastal Grand Bros on Instagram today is asking if your cool aunt watches Challengers.
Maybe.
I also saw that weekend a movie called The Beast, which is a French movie starring Léa Seydoux. My favorite movie in a year and a half.
Interessant. Why? Was it just people shitting in the woods again?
No. I like Sasquatch Sunset a lot, but I don't like it. It's not my favorite movie of the year. The Beast is... Bob and I saw it at an indie theater, and we walked out both amazed by it, and also like, this is a good reason why you like, sometimes it's good to go into a movie completely blind, because we knew nothing about The Beast, and it was just wild. So it's kind of Cloud Atlas-y in terms of like past lives, future lives, everything like coexisting, but it's like doing like 5 or 6 different things, and I don't know that it all comes together, but it has taken big swings, and it is wild, and I loved it, and it's funny, and it's weird, and it's ambitious, and I think it's great. And
that's awesome, dude.
I'm not saying a lot about it intentionally in case people like, I don't know, a lot of there's not a ton of crossover, I don't think, between this and that movie and like Fast and Furious viewers, but I think a lot of our, not a lot, but a lot of our listeners are more filmy. Like, I think Jason
I think so. Yeah. A lot of our listeners are very educated in film. Yes.
Then, Bob and I went to see one of the authors that we interviewed for How to Win the Lottery was doing a re-release of his book. So his book called The Instructions, which is one of the best books Bob and I have both ever read. One of his favorite books we read for the podcast. It's great. It's about a 13-year-old, I want to say, Jewish boy at a private school who may or may not be the Messiah. It's about a lot of different stuff coming of age we did in the campus module. But when the book turned 13, they had the bar mitzvah edition of the book,
Okay.
So they re-released it in paperback. So he did a reading in New York, and so we saw him read there. We met him. We're like, hey, we're from the podcast, because he emailed me, like he sent out like this like thing and like BCC'd I guess a bunch of people. So we went there, which was very cool. So it was cool. Like he knew we were going to be there, so it was nice to meet him.
Cool. Yeah.
And then as we're leaving, I'm like, oh, I saw the TV Glow, which is the movie that I was telling you about. I mentioned once, but it's a new A24 movie, kind of a trans journey. That isn't supposed to come out till like later this month. It was doing like an early screening in New York, and I'm like, Bob, you want to like, we're literally going to be right here. So we saw it, thought it was great. One of those like only in New York kind of things where just like, didn't even know this movie was out, and here we are seeing it. So pretty cool.
Yes.
And then celebrated Greek Easter with some friends, which was nice. A lot of good food there.
Oh, that's fun. I love Mediterranean food. I love Greek food. I love Turkish food. Huge fan. Huge fan. What'd you have? Spanakopita? A little bit of spanakopita?
I had spanakopita, had moussaka, had lamb.
Oh.
Lots of food. Also celebrated my friend Matt's 40th birthday. Shout out to Matt. He's in
Happy
our
birthday, Matt.
Fantasy Baseball League. I don't think you've met him. Like, he knows about you because he knows about the podcast, but
maybe. He
turned 40 on Monday, so we celebrated his birthday down in Philly.
I think I decided what I want to do for my 40th birthday, too.
What do you want to do?
Well, I think that to match the energy of going to Magic City for my 30th birthday, I think I'm going to have to find another famous Ratchet strip club to go to for my 40th birthday. So I was thinking maybe King of Diamonds in Miami. I haven't decided yet, but I was just thinking about it the other day. It's time to start planning.
That'll be in 2029?
Maybe. I don't know. Do the math. Yeah, 2029.
It's pretty easy math.
I know.
I think that's all I've done. If I see anything at home, and then there's a couple other things I want to mention very quickly. Is there anything else I've seen?
Are you watching the Jinx? Have you seen the Jinx?
I saw the first Jinx. I'm not going to watch the second Jinx. So what's the point?
It's still wild.
Who Weekly recapped it for a while, so I know they're like, it's wild to see him, like, all of his friends are like, I'm not talking to you on camera, and they all talk to him on camera, and they all just say crazy things to him in prison.
Pretty much, yes.
But he died, right? He's not alive. He died, so.
Spoilers, fuck.
Jeez.
I know, but Jesus, I didn't get to that part. We're only on episode 3. There's only 3 out.
Oh, we both saw The Fall Guy. We talked about it on Gosling, if you want to go check out Boyfriend Material.
We did. Great movie. It was really, really fun. The episode's good, too. It was fun to talk about.
Yeah. The only thing I want to mention is I started playing this new game called Balatro, which is a video game. It's a card building game. You're just like making poker hands. But what's cool about it is that you can like upgrade different hands. Points are scored based on the card value, but also like based on like multipliers and points. But like you can make it so like if you upgrade 2 pair, like it might be more beneficial to you to play like a 2 pair than like a full house.
Oh, cool.
It's very strange. There's all these jokers do like all these wild things. Like it's like a rogue light, which is, you know, like a very hot genre of game right now. This game came out a couple months ago.
What does a rogue light mean?
So there's a game called Rogue where like every time you died, your entire progress got reset. And you had to like basically get better to beat the game. So like Spelunky 2 is a rogue like, Like, in that every run you have to start from scratch, and you can like different runs, different seeds, it's all randomly generated. Rogue light is similar where every run resets you, but you also unlock other things that can help your progress sort of globally. So it's a little bit easier, but it's also still really difficult. So there's a bunch of there's so much to do in this game. Really well reviewed. I had been looking forward to it, and I finally was just like, I'm going to start playing it, and it's really, really good.
Fun. Is it on phones or games? Because it's like it's card game, so like it could just be on your phone, right?
It could be on your phone. It is on Switch, PS5, Mac.
How much does it cost to give me a general idea? Okay, that's what I thought. It feels like that.
No, it's not on phones. It was on Windows and Mac, PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, Series X, and Nintendo Switch. Like basically every modern thing. That's $15.
Console thing.
It's great.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
So Balatro is really cool. There's like all these jokers that do like random things or weird things like add multipliers, or they're not like all in my brain. Like some give you like extra money, some like randomly do things, some like take things away. Like there's a lot of stuff, different stuff that like benefits your hands. The game is very cool, very hard. And then also like I'm only on like the first difficulty level, and like there's like 10 difficulty levels, and there's like 10 different starting decks, and like it's crazy. So
makes sense.
Balatro is very fun. But Wes, if you're out there listening, and I know you are, I'll get back to Shadow of the Colossus one day, but for now, just playing Balatro. But I think that's basically it. We'll be back in 3 weeks with another one of these. Email in family@cageclub.me. Joe, our next episode on the main feed is Fast and Furious 6 with Walt and Kim.
Oh, okay.
Our next episode for patrons will be Earth Girls Are Easy, out on Monday.
Oh, yeah. That was fun. Okay.
Lane Middleton's
I forgot
pick.
that. Wow. Yeah. We've recorded a long time ago. But that was I actually, since then, Lane, little spoiler tidbit, Rachel wasn't here. She came home. I immediately rewatched it with her. So I've seen that movie twice now.
How much of that was just because you want to see Gina Davis being very attractive again?
Literally none.
Right.
I was more excited about the Marlon Wayans dance scene, to be honest with you, because I think that was like one of my favorite scenes in a movie that I've seen in a long time.
Good scene. So that'll be out on Monday on the Patreon, TooFastTooForever.com. Earth Girls Are Easy. We've got a bunch of cool bonus episodes. We have 2 more recorded past that. The next 2 as well. So go check that out at TooFastTooForever.com. And the main feed for everybody next week is Fast and Furious 6. But for all things Too Fast, is there anything else you want to say or no?
No, glad to be home.
Yeah.
That's what I want to say. I'm fucking excited. I got through hell month of April, and I'm done.
Hell track?
My body is still hurting from the experiences I've had those 2 weekends. And if you know me, as I told Joey, I took a 5-day water-only sobriety break when I came back from Vegas.
Crazy.
That's insane. That's probably the longest I've been sober in like 20 years. I was like, my body cannot handle anything else for 5 days.
Congratulations. Welcome back. Welcome home.
Thank you. I turned my chip back in.
For all things Too Fast, Too Forever, go to cageclub.me, facebook.com/TooFastTooForever, or at TooFastTooForever on all the platforms. Email us, family@cageclub.me. Check out our Patreon page at TooFastTooForever.com and our store at cageclub.me/shop. And come back next week for Fast and Furious 6. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe, too.
And we will tell you all about it